Hi, welcome to Be On Target. My name's Chad, and the subject of today's video is going to be how to draw a handgun. Now, drawing a handgun and learning how to draw a handgun takes several different steps and a lot of practice, because what you really need to do is build muscle memory. There's going to be dry firing, there's going to be practicing on point shoot, and then there's going to be actual range time. But I'll tell you right now that the majority of time that you're going to be spending is going to be with a non-live firearm, just practicing your draw, practicing your point shoot technique. And it's going to be done with a dry weapon, dry firing, until you build a muscle memory where it becomes second nature. Okay, like I said, a couple elements of learning to draw are point and shoot techniques and dry firing. Dry firing is simply that. It is operating your firearm with no live ammunition in it. It is squeezing the trigger over and over again until you build muscle memory to know what that's going to feel like. It does not allow, that way you don't have recoil and you can concentrate more on your technique. Now, disclaimer here is you never, ever want to dry fire an empty firearm without a snap cap in it. And a snap cap is simply an inert round. It's a dummy round that goes in the chamber, and it looks like this. It's usually going to be red, solid piece of metal, and the most important thing about it is on the back of it, where the primer is a little piece of rubber, and that cushions your firing pin so that you can dry fire your firearm without damaging it. If you dry fire an empty firearm enough, you do risk cracking, splitting, or even breaking your firing pins, so never do that. So if you're going to dry fire, get some snap caps. You put them in the chamber, and that is what you're going to shoot with. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at what dry firing looks like. All right, we talked about dry firing. The second element as far as drawing your firearm goes is the idea of point shoot. If you're in a situation where you're drawing your firearm, you're usually in a situation where you're in a very high stress situation, which means you're not really concentrating on the idea of sight alignment, sight picture, proper trigger squeeze. You're just trying to get rounds off, get them towards your adversary. Now, that goes against what you're taught in marksmanship, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes practice to develop a natural point of aim so you have a good idea of where your firearm is going to shoot when you shoot it. Doesn't mean you're going to get in the 10 ring every time. You don't need to. As a matter of fact, it's a good idea to hit all over your target because it creates multiple wounds in many different locations. But you're still going to need to practice that dry firing. You're going to need to practice that point shoot technique in order to make sure that you are hitting your target without properly sighting in. Okay, now we're just going to do some point and shoot drills. Point shoot drill is as simple as getting in a position from the low ready, and you're going to come up looking essentially over the firearm and squeezing off 2 round bursts. Again, I've got a snap gap in here to protect my firing pin, and the idea here isn't to shoot anything. The idea is to start building muscle memory, lining your body up naturally with the target, squeezing off 2 rounds, then coming down to build up that muscle memory of what you would do in a live fire situation. And it's going to look just like this. I am lined up, I'm looking over my firearm, and I'm squeezing off 2 rounds. Go down, come back up, 2 rounds. Go up, go up, go up, go up. And it's as simple as that. You're going to be taking a lot of time. You're going to be doing this quite a bit with your firearm. Now, as always, safety is paramount. There should never be any live ammo anywhere near where you're doing this, because one live round can equal one very bad mistake. So make sure that you have no live ammunition near where you're doing this, that the only thing in the firearm is a snap cap to protect that firing pin, and be ready to repeat a lot, because it takes a lot of trigger squeezes, hundreds, thousands of trigger squeezes to build that muscle memory you're going to need to be ready to do this without thinking in a real world situation. So now what we're going to work on is actually drawing the firearm. What you want to do is make sure that you're working with the firearm system that you're actually going to use. The actual firearm, a holster built for that firearm, and a system that you're actually going to wear. If you're going to wear an ankle holster, you need to practice with that firearm in that ankle holster. If you're going to wear a belt holster like I'm wearing right now, that's what you practice with. You practice with the firearm and the holster system you're actually going to carry. Now, you're going to be starting out very slow. It's all about steady. It's all about being consistent. It is not about being quick right off the bat. Okay? What you want to do is be slow, be deliberate, get the feeling, build that muscle memory. And it's as simple as this. You're going to face your target. You are going to slowly feel for your firearm. You're going to find for any release mechanisms that firearm's holster might have, which this one does right here. It's a trigger finger release system. And you're going to slowly draw that firearm, and you're going to practice your point shoot. Then you're going to reholster, and then you are going to repeat. And again, you're not going to be fast right out of the box. You're going to be slow. You're going to be deliberate. But if you are deliberate and consistent over time, what's going to happen is your draw is going to become faster and faster until it becomes something you're satisfied with. And then it's just a matter of practice, practice, practice to keep that consistency that you have built up and that muscle memory that you've built up over time. This will go away. So if this is something you're going to do, it's something you're going to have to keep practicing. Okay. All right, now we are going to practice the point shoot drills that we talked about in the classroom. Again, point shoot drills are simply pointing the firearm and discharging it in the direction of your assailant and looking over the firearm. You're not using the sights as much as you are instinctively shooting in the direction of your target. This is a tactical type of shooting. This is not designed to be bullseye shooting. You're just trying to hit your target. Safe and clear.
Wait a second. Okay.
All right, as you can see from the target here, I was not going for accuracy. I got a shot here, I've got a shot here, I've got a shot here, I've got a shot here, 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 and here. Again, the point is not to necessarily hit the 10 ring every time. The idea is that you're just trying to hit your target. In a self-defense situation, you're just trying to put rounds into your target, and that is really all you're concerned about. All right, now we're going to put it all together. Got my target out there. The object is I'm going to draw, I'm going to fire 2 rounds, and we'll see how we do. This is a realistic drawing scenario in a tactical shooting situation against an adversary who is actually trying to injure you. so we've gone over the basics that are necessary to learn how to draw a firearm. Point shoot techniques, basic draw techniques, and basic techniques at the range. It takes a long time to learn how to draw a firearm because it is part of a whole scenario of learning how to use a firearm in a tactical self-defense situation. Before you even consider the idea of carrying a firearm for self-defense in a tactical situation, please spend a lot of time on the range enjoying yourself. Go out and enjoy the shooting sports. Become a good marksman. Learn the shooting techniques that you're going to need on the range, that you're going to need to learn how to do this in a self-defense situation. You shouldn't even be considering drawing a firearm or using a firearm in a self-defense situation until you have hundreds or thousands of rounds downrange in a target range situation. Hope you've enjoyed the information I've given you. I hope it's something to build on. Please don't consider this your ultimate guide to drawing a firearm. You're going to need live one-on-one coaching to really get it down, but this gives you the basics. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for tuning in to Be On Target, and look forward to seeing you at the range.